All right, I'm Jeffrey Woods here with Carson Abram. This is episode 2 of 206 208 Sports. All right, Carson, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. Just got done with class. Refreshed a lot of my X feed, and saw a lot of free agency moves going on.
Talking about NFL free agency.
Yeah, NFL free agency.
Yeah. So what's been your favorite move so far? I mean, just in general.
Man, there's a lot of them. One that sticks out to me is Saquon Barkley signing with Philadelphia. I mean, him and Jalen Hurts and Kellen Moore's running the show there. I mean, you're going to see a lot of RPOs. They got a lot of good guys on the perimeter. I mean, that's an exciting offense now. I mean, Jalen Hurts is I would say top 10 quarterback. Would you
Yeah, he's definitely top 10 quarterback. Had a disappointing end to this past season, but
agree?
I think that, the Eagles in general just need a fresh start in terms of like some different personnel. And I think bringing Saquon's going to be good. I mean, it's a really really talented running back, and of course, would when he's healthy for a full year, he's really 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 special, and we kind of saw some glimpses of that, this past year, and saw it in years past with the Giants, but you know, consistency is
I
going to be
will.
the key.
I want to ask you this question. Consistency is going to be key. Does this make them front runners in the NFC?
No, I don't think so. I think that they're there, but they're not there with the Lions and the 49ers. I think that
Yeah,
those are clear.
I would agree with that. I just think that that was a big move. I mean, they're going to be able to do what they want. The guys they got on the perimeter at wide receiver, they got some good talent out there. I mean, the O line's pretty stagnant. Losing Jason Kelsey will hurt a little bit, but I mean, they're gonna be solid. Um, the Cowboys just got a little weaker today. We could jump into that. They losing Tony Pollard to a lot of uh running back moves today. Tony Pollard's going to the Titans.
Yeah. Um, yeah, running back definitely a position that is very, very I would say just like overall it's replaceable. And I think a lot of teams are realizing that, the running back position is just so injury prone and you never know really what you're gonna get. That's why you're not going to see a running back go in the first round. I don't think for a few years. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But
And if there is a running back in the first round, I think it's Ashton Genty out of Boise State next year. I don't think he would go in the first round. I think a mid to low second round grade would be proper. Running backs are not going in the first round. You're not going to see a guy like Ezekiel Elliott go fifth overall for a while,
yeah,
or
I think
Saquon
it's
Barkley.
yeah, I think it's more of like it's not just it's like the true running backs, like the power running backs that are not going to go in the first round. Like
Yeah,
Bijan Robinson went, to the Falcons,
yeah,
but it's like the running backs that are like super, that are basically like receivers too. Those have a chance to go in the first round, but this year's draft, I don't really think there's anyone. I think
yeah.
Blake,
This year's draft, the best running backs, Blake Corum
yeah,
out of Michigan
and
or Trey Benson.
he's probably not a first rounder. Blake Corum,
Yeah, he's a mid to high second round.
yeah, he's a second
He's
round.
a little undersized in my opinion, but I think he's a solid running back. I think the Packers picking up Josh Jacobs is huge, right? Would you say
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
But it was questionable because they had Aaron Jones and they signed him, and everyone's like, "What are they going to do?" Well, we recently just found out that Aaron Jones has been released. Where do you see him going?
So
Give me
I
a
think,
couple teams to keep an eye on.
yeah, so I think a few teams that I would definitely look at for Aaron Jones. One is the Ravens. Ravens kind of were shaky at running back,
Okay.
right? Injuries were definitely a concern there. Another place that I could definitely see him going would be Dallas. Obviously, the Dallas Cowboys, maybe maybe they get Derrick Henry, but they just lost Tony
Yeah.
Pollard, and they just watched Aaron Jones go off against them at their own field. What about you? Where do you see Aaron
Yeah.
Jones going?
Well, the Raiders right now, I'm not saying the Raiders, but they just lost Josh Jacobs. They're going to need a running back. I don't know if they're looking in the draft if they like someone,
Yeah,
but I think you're going to see the Raiders try to go for some type of running back. I think you got to keep your eye on the Cowboys, the Bills, the Bills.
the Bills, they got James Cook right now.
Yeah, they can run. It never hurts to have two running backs. I mean, a downhill run game with Josh Allen to work in some RPOs, play action. That Buffalo weather, you're gonna want to pound the rock in January when it comes playoff time, right? Snowy fields. You want to be able to pound the rock, run the ball, control the clock, and set it up to play action. They could use another running back. So
Yeah,
I think the Bills or Cowboys would be my best bet right now. But I think I think he's a good running back, and there's a lot of running backs going off the board today for agency.
yeah. So transitioning into a big quarterback move, Russell
Oh,
Wilson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What are your thoughts on that? And then what are your thoughts on the contract situation that went down in Denver?
I think Denver was they made an aggressive play, and sometimes you got to do that. You got to make an aggressive play. The rivals, the Chiefs, they traded up to go get Patrick Mahomes. Look what happened. I think they were looking. People have done that. Trade up, be aggressive, go get yourself a quarterback. It worked out, but it didn't because Russell Wilson was not a fit there. He didn't have the resources, the talent pool around him to win, in my opinion. And now he's going to a situation where the Steelers are accustomed to winning. And that Mike Tomlin, he hasn't had a losing season in how long? It's like a long time. He always gets that winning record. He's gonna compete for it. Nothing's gonna be earned. Nothing's gonna be earned. He's gonna have to compete for the starting job. Kenny Pickett and him are gonna compete. I think what you're gonna see is a really big quarterback battle heading into the preseason, and I think Russell Wilson wins it. And this is like his revive of his career. They're gonna see how it goes. And what is it, a 1 year deal? I assume 1 year deal. And with that 1 year deal, they're just gonna it's a win-win situation. Either they're hits and you sign him to another contract, or he misses and he goes next year. He's a free agent. And so with that, he's only making 1.2 million. What's your take?
So I think that Russell Wilson, like I think you have to realize Russell Wilson's a winner. All right, in the seat with the Seahawks, he almost made the playoffs every single year. Now I'm not trying to say that. Yeah, like yes, the Seahawks had some great defenses, obviously, but and when they won the Super Bowl, Russell Wilson didn't win them the Super Bowl, right? And in fact, he had that incident, the 1 yard line that I will never forget as a Seahawks fan. But he's a
On
winner.
the ball.
He will make a play, and I think that at this point in his career, he wants to win, but he has to have like you said, a cast around him. And in Denver, it just wasn't a good situation with the coaching staff, and yeah, obviously his resources around him. I think that in
Got
going
better from year 1 to 2.
Yeah, I mean, going into Pittsburgh, he's going to have expectations, but I think that he's actually going to succeed because they're going to they're going to change up their style of offense, right? They have not had a quarterback that can throw down the field in years, right? Like a while.
Big
And
Ben.
Russell Wilson can do that. Yeah, like Big Ben back when he was in his prime, right?
Prime, yeah.
Yeah,
Can I add something real quick?
yeah,
New offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, was the offensive coordinator for the Titans during their run.
yeah.
With Ryan Tannehill, he knows how to develop quarterbacks. They like running the ball. You're going to see them feed Najee Harris. They're going to pound the rock. Jalen Warren, he's a good running back. They're not going to, Russell Wilson is going to be a game manager.
Yeah,
17,
yeah,
20, 17 to 23 throws a game. Just give me, if you could go 16 for 22, 198, 2 touchdowns, that wins you ball games with the Steelers offense.
yeah.
I think I think they got the right coach. It's a right situation, and I like the move. Can we
Yeah, and
transition to Kirk Cousins yet, or you
yeah,
got something to
yeah.
add?
I think that just to add on one last thing is that he does have the ability to throw the ball deep, though. That's a thing that you have to have that in the back of your pocket, right? Like if you look at Patrick Mahomes, that's what makes him so great. He has the ability to throw the ball deep, but he keeps the ball out of the opponent's hands and he is accurate all the time within that like 10 to 25-yard range, right?
Let me add this real quick before we transition. You're saying Russell Wilson can throw that deep ball. Well, their plan of attack, Pittsburgh is short pass range. I would assume play action, run the ball. If they don't have a deep passing game, teams are going to load the box. They're going to load the box and try to force them deep. And if you could take the top off of secondaries, I think
Yeah,
Russell Wilson can. I mean,
yeah.
they're going to have to play both. So I think it's going to be good. I think they're going to probably go right now 10-7, make the playoffs, and Russell Wilson just revived his career.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, transitioning into Kirk Cousins, going to
What's your thought
Atlanta.
on that?
What are your
Your
expectations for the Falcons with this signing now?
um,
Are
my
they the best team in the
expectations?
NFC South?
No, they're not. Baker Mayfield's returning to the Bucks. They're going to be all right. I don't. Okay, they went 7-10 last year.
With no quarterback.
Their ceiling this year is 9-8. That's all I think. I think their ceiling's 9-8. They got good pieces around them, but he's coming off of an injury. I don't know how much you could do. New head coach, 9-8. I mean, I can't expect a lot from this Falcons team, but that's my opinion. What's your opinion on this? I'm not saying that's a hot take. It's just he's in the late of his career, coming off an injury, new team, new coach, new offensive coordinator. I don't have high expectations, and no one should. The first year should be a free pass.
I think they're an 11-6 team this year. I think they go 11-6. I think that
Okay.
you have to see the
Yeah,
NFC
they got the
South.
talent around. He's got some talent. He's got Drake London. He's got Kyle Pitts. He's got Bijan Robinson in the backfield. But there's only so much you could do,
The
and
defense
I
is
think that's an open competition with Desmond Ritter.
I feel like the defense is a little underrated though, right? And I feel like if they get something in the draft this year, they have a chance of being the best team in the NFC South. I think the if you look on offense, obviously they have weapons, yes, but you have to look at it as this, right? They're going to be playing two games against the Buccaneers, right? Two games against the
Those
other
are
teams in the NFC South, right? The
Yeah,
Panthers
the Panthers are a
and the
dumpster
Saints.
fire right now.
Panthers and the Saints, who are
So let's say,
pretty
for
much four
instance, they
wins.
split. Hey, let's say, for instance, they split with the Saints, split with the Bucks, and take two from the Panthers.
Yeah,
That's
that was
4 wins,
two losses,
2 losses.
right? And then
Okay.
four wins, two losses. I mean, that should get you, in my opinion, that should get you over to, you know, winning the NFC South because the Bucks won it with barely being
Okay,
over.
a 9-8 season, they could win the NFC South.
Yeah, and there's a lot of question marks on the Bucks too. Like Baker Mayfield has to have a good year for the Bucks to win the NFC South. That's the
Yeah,
truth.
I would agree with that. I just think their confidence is pretty high. Todd Bowles is returning as head coach. I don't know. They they have a new offensive coordinator though.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be an interesting season. And I think that, you know, it's I think that the 49ers and the, Lions, they're going to be the two favorites in the NFC. Obviously, the Chiefs will always be favorites as long as Mahomes and Kelsey are there, and the Ravens will be back. It's going to be a lot of the same teams, but I feel like there's, the Bengals and the Bills could definitely take a step forward and be contenders to win the Super Bowl. The
Keep an
NFC,
eye on the Chargers.
yeah, yeah, the
Jim
Chargers,
Harbaugh coming over.
yeah, they could
I don't
definitely
know.
be good.
I mean, their division's tough. I expect them to be a wild card team, but also I'm really high on Anthony Richardson. I think the Colts
Yeah,
have the right infrastructure around him. He is he is a generational talent at quarterback. He's the Lamar Jackson, but
yeah,
6'6" or 6'5", 240. He runs, he's got an arm, got hurt last year. I expect big things from him. I think he takes a step forward. Jonathan Taylor in the backfield.
yeah, for
Just keep
sure.
an eye on that team, the Colts. All right. So should we transition? Okay, so okay. The Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight. It's gonna be on Netflix. If you have a subscription, you can watch it. This is gonna be probably one of the most watched boxing events in probably history. I think Jake Paul is a underrated boxer. People just say he fights old people, but I think he's a legit boxer. I mean, he's probably an average pro right now, and he's only going to get better from here, right? Mike Tyson, he's old. This fight is going to go the distance, probably be a draw. It's probably an expedition, right? Probably an expedition.
Yeah.
And what you're going to see is it's going to be a kumbaya draw. Everyone makes money. Netflix gets money. Jake Paul gets some money. Mike Tyson gets some money. It's a win-win-win for everybody. The audience gets to watch this. But there's also that one thing. What if Jake Paul just lands an uppercut or hits him with the overhand right and knocks Mike Tyson down on the canvas? What happens? What happens on Twitter or X?
It's definitely gonna be big, trending, obviously. Yeah, I don't know if that happens. I mean, will Mike Tyson's legacy be tainted, or I don't really know.
I mean, the guy's pushing 60.
Yeah, yeah,
But here's the thing. What if Mike Tyson lands a clean shot on Jake and Jake falls to the canvas? The internet's going to explode. I mean, here's a guy that has knocked every opponent down on the canvas, and he's going to get rattled for the first time. I mean, in that Tyron Woodley fight, he got rattled a little bit, but he recovered. He didn't get knocked down. But if he gets knocked down, the internet will explode, calling him a fake fighter, but you can't buy it. This is for entertainment. This is for money. In my opinion, it should be a good fight. What's more probable? A Jake Paul knockout or a Tyson or a Mike Tyson knockout?
I think a Mike Tyson knockout because I think that
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, like especially when it comes to boxing, I understand that he's old, but power is power, right? And Mike Tyson is your muscles, muscle memory is a real thing. So the minute that he steps in that ring, he's gonna have that experience. He's gonna know how to defend himself.
Yeah.
And if his punches are, I don't care how old you are, if you train for power, you can punch somebody extreme, in the right spot, catch them off guard once, it's over. I could definitely see that
This is going
happen.
to be a little like the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather
Yeah,
fight, where it's going to be a clinch fest, I think.
yeah.
But hey, you got to respect people for getting the bag. Like they're
Yeah.
making serious money. Could we see a Jake Paul KSI fight down the line, or is that kind of like over? I
I
would
mean,
love to see it.
I don't even think KSI would want to fight Jake Paul because KSI, like honestly, I don't think that he would be able to put up a fight with Jake Paul. He's not a boxer.
He's so orthodox. Styles make fights. He can hurt Jake Paul, but he could also get hurt with that uppercut, with that overhand right, leaving his head like this. It
Yeah,
sets up that uppercut. That's all I've been hearing on social media is that it takes one punch for KSI and Jake Paul sleeping on that canvas, but he could get rattled like he did in that Logan Paul fight. He got hit with that uppercut.
Yeah, I agree. We'll have to see. So that's going to conclude this episode.
So that's going to be in July. That's going to be in July, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We just wanted to get this episode out because there was a lot of news. There was also should we just briefly the South Carolina LSU fight? 20 seconds go.
Craziness. I mean, SEC title game got heated. Obviously South Carolina's
That's competing.
undefeated. Yeah, undefeated, and we'll have to see when. I'm assuming that those teams are going to meet up at some point in the tournament.
Yeah. I think I think they shouldn't be like penalized a multiple game suspension. I think that's just part of the nature. They're competing. When things get chippy, things get chippy. I don't think they should be punished, but that's it. So this Sunday we're gonna have an interview with Nolan.
Yeah,
Nolan Hardesty, left-handed pitcher from Twin Falls, Idaho. His recent pen, he was 87 to 89. He's playing at Modesto Community College, and we'll be talking to him. Any of the topics that we have up in mind, or
yeah. You'll
I have
have
a
to see.
couple.
You'll have to tune
Yeah,
in. Tune in when
we'll be
we.
talking his high school process, how he works, how his relationship with Christ and baseball play hand in hand, and what his recruiting process was like.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's another episode of 206 Sports. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.
We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.